Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday, January 23rd Board of Selectmen's meeting. I'll read the agenda. 7 o'clock, we'll have citizens' input. 7:05, we'll introduce Nick Riccio. 7:10, Mark Forensic, John Gibson. 7:15, public hearing, Better Food Foxborough LLC, DBA Tavolino's, and Lakeview Pavilion. 7:40, CRGE Foxborough LLC, DBA Toby Keese, I Love This Bar and Grill, change of manager. 7:50, Selectmen's update. 8 o'clock, Town Manager's update. 8:10, Assistant Town Manager's update. And then we have a bunch of action items. Mary Beth, because you were late, you can lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. A little bit after 7, is anybody here for citizens' input? Anybody? Anybody?
Walsh, 8 Pond Ave. So, had a pretty big game here on Sunday, and I don't even think that the trophy was given out before the phone and the messages started to the Walsh house. What are we gonna do? You know, bigger and better, blah, blah, blah. So, in the process of putting all the facts and figures and everything together, but like to do it like we did last year, have the rally on the Common on Saturday. Everybody's on board with this. I spoke with Deb G. from Rec. She would like to have folks go down to the booth and maybe get a drone shot of everyone, and also she's going to open it up so kids can make posters and things like that, and then they'll all come up to the Common. Senator Feeney has offered to DJ again. You know, we just want to stay right the way that we did it before, superstitious wise, right? So he'll be DJing, and the JCs will be giving out some little handout things. Also, a large door prize of a signed autograph Gronk shirt. So that's all free. It's not, you don't have to pay for the raffle. We're gonna do that. We also, in the meantime, hopefully Selectman DeBellis and myself on Sunday want to reach out to everybody in town to decorate their homes. We'll come by with video cameras and maybe do some interviews of some certain people and places around town that we can put a collective clip together to send down to the boys again. The rally will be taped by Foxborough Cable again, and Saturday night we'll get that down there so they can sleep well knowing that their hometown is rallying behind them. I spoke with Jim off and on, so do you want to do some further updates?
No, you pretty much covered it. Kind of stepping back a little bit, it's at this table it's always a little awkward when you're dealing with the crafts, because for lack of a better term, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. They're in front of us for permits, so if we do too much, you're on that side doing favors, getting favors. If you don't do enough, you let an opportunity go by. So with the way we approach it, we called out to Jesse Enos over at the Patriots and said, look, it's a good opportunity to take the Route 1 entity, bring it to town center, and let's all work together. So with that in mind, we said, how can we do that and involve the community, but not, you know, save the duck boats for Boston, the big thing, but just a hometown feel. Yeah. So they were very excited about it. So what they're going to do is provide a lot of those big 8-foot banners. They're going to print them up all around the Common, similar to what we did last year. And then they're also going to give us 50 of them. And then Linda's going to come up with 50. So it's kind of a shared thing. So we've got 100 blank white banners. Right. So we're going to have them available. If people want to come during the week, once we get them, we're going to put grommets on them, take them home, decorate them, bring them back, and we'll put them up on the Common. Right. And then we're going to have a contest for the nicest banner, and that's where the Gronk shirt is going to come in. So we'll have judges on that. So it's really a good opportunity to keep it in town. You know, the music, go to the Common, celebrate a little bit, have the
Yep.
banners up, do the video. So the video is probably gonna happen this weekend.
The video of
Yeah.
around town, yeah.
Yeah, and then the following Saturday,
Is the actual rally?
the actual
next-
rally,
next Saturday?
noontime in the Common, similar to was it last year. And then so. you know,
11 on the common, Jim.
I'm sorry, 11.
That's
11
okay.
11 to 12, or
jinx it.
11 to 12, something.
Yeah, it's gotta be, yeah,
Exactly the same.
Yeah,
yes.
so everything's, you know, it's worked, and it's a nice, it's almost a 50-50 type effort with the volunteers and the, you know, the capital expense for the banners. It works out nice. And then, so talking to them, a couple other things that, I asked them if they didn't mind if I shared, you know, the craft organization. So they had, this is kind of broader for Foxborough. If you are a season ticket holder in Foxborough, they hosted a dinner a couple weeks ago on a Thursday night and invited all the Foxborough ticket holders into the stadium. And it was a presentation and a question and answer. And basically, how can we make it better for the Foxborough season ticket holders? And one of the questions was, you know, seriously, do you really have a lottery for the tickets? We've never seen them.
Yep.
So they took it seriously, and for the first time ever this year, if you are a Foxborough season ticket holder, you will be in a sole lottery by yourselves, and they'll pick one person for 2 tickets. You have to purchase it, but you have the ability to buy it. So that's the first time they've ever done it. It's kind of a reach out to, you know, to work better with the community. And then the other thing I think is kind of really neat is if you went to the ribbon cutting that we had at the Orpheum, they had a band called 36 Red, homegrown, Jim Politano, Larry Smith. They invited them, they're gonna bring them down on a coach bus down to the Super Bowl so Foxborough band can play
Well, that's cool.
for their team right before the game, at all the pre-games, and then after at all the post-games. So
very
this
cool.
year, it's, you know, how do you let 6 go by and not do something? So I think it's just enough, not overboard, and, but I wanted to thank Linda for kind of spearheading it. All the questions, all the signups go through her Facebook page. She'll put it out there, because she volunteered for that. And, you know, and also, you
Because
know,
Jim doesn't do Facebook.
the rec department is gonna step up, so, if you don't wanna pick up a banner to decorate and bring back, we'll give you the details, but they'll set up tables at the booth, and then the kids and the families can go down
Right.
and do that, and then bring them back.
Right, and I
for the
think,
rally.
yeah, I think that's what would be cool, is they decorate them down there, and then they bring them up to the common, and we can get all that on video too, and Foxborough Cable, God bless them, they work with us really well, and they'll make sure it gets turned around and gets back down there for Saturday night for the part of the rally, but it will be ongoing for the video, you know, this
Another
week.
exciting week in Foxborough.
It is, it's another, and the
Saturday
community's
anniversary
coming
of
together
football.
for it. It's like an, you know, old-time rally, and it'll be fun, so hope to see everybody there.
Spread the word.
Yeah,
Let
spread the
people
word.
know, because
Yeah.
it should be fun. And we had a good showing last year, but we obviously want it to be bigger if we can.
It will be bigger this year, yeah.
And some things, you know, I don't know if this will happen again this year, but if, you know, I'm not gonna say it, but
No,
considering the outcome of the game, we may get a live telecast from the Common again after the game. So that's a
yeah,
possibility
that was
too.
that Good Morning America
Good
that we
Morning
had to be up
America,
there
yeah,
at
so-
what, 5 o'clock in the morning
Yeah,
on
it
Monday or
was,
something?
it was like
And
7
there was like
o'clock.
3
It
of
was
us
like-
up there.
Yeah, I know. I think everybody was
We
sort
gotta
of
get
like
that
all
word
partying
out
up the night
quickly,
before,
yeah,
right? But-
yeah.
But that's still a possibility too, so I'll look into that some more
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Nice.
Well, we won't even cross that, we don't even.
No, I'm not gonna say,
We
it
don't
only
talk
depends upon
about-
the result,
we
right?
don't talk
I'm not
about
gonna-
that until-
Not gonna talk about that.
Yeah,
Are we gonna have a friendly wager?
yeah, I know, you guys,
We gotta work
yeah,
on that.
yeah, work on
I
that.
don't know if you can deal with Philadelphia politicians.
Or fans.
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll work on
All
it.
right, so I just wanted everybody to know that's the scoop, and thank you, Paul Feeney, thank you, Foxborough Cable, thank you, Deb G, and the Orpheum has said that we can use their restrooms, their facilities, and if it's real bad inclement weather, we can go inside. Inclement means pouring rain. Other than that, if it's snowing, we love, you know, the snowball, right? So,
One other thing that's come out too is that the team is planning to leave from Foxborough on Monday.
Monday.
Monday morning. I guess there's a little bit of a rally up at the stadium itself that they do typically every time they take this trip.
yeah,
So
that's, yeah,
So that's gonna start, like, I think, around 8 o'clock in the morning.
Right, and that's
And,
all of New England
That's all
will
of
be
New
there.
England. So just to make people aware of that, but we just got alerted about that today, so.
So just so everybody understands, things like this don't just happen without volunteers and
Right.
people to spearhead it. And once again, you stepped up.
Right.
I don't know if you volunteered or were voluntold.
You know what was funny? You know what was funny is Paul Farmer was talking to me, and he said, you know, I don't know if I got it right, so can you get in touch with Abby from Channel 10? And so I said, yeah, sure. So I gave her a call. I just said, it's Linda from Foxborough. And she said, oh, so you're the community coordinator, social? And I said,
Congratulations.
no, I said, no, I don't.
New title,
I have
new
no
title.
title. I said, I'm a JC, that's what I am. And she said, oh, no, one of the secretaries called you that. And I said, well, that's, great to know. But no, I am, the JC, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you.
Oh, thank you
It's-
guys.
it's much
Thank you
appreciated.
guys.
Thanks for all the
It's what we're
efforts.
made of.
And
the whole
just,
town.
just lastly, I mean, there's, over at the stadium, they're incredibly busy, but they did take the time to
Right.
sit,
Yeah.
to work this out, and they're actually
Great.
excited, Jess is
Yeah.
over the top excited about
Yep.
this, so. it's,
Jeremy too. I've been talking to
Yeah,
Jeremy. and
it'll be, it's a nice
Yep.
Yep.
combined effort.
It is. It is. All right.
Thank
thanks.
you.
See you there.
All right, thanks, Linda.
7:13, we got a couple minutes before our 7:15 hearing. Our 7:10 has withdrawn, I believe.
We forgot 7:05.
7:05, oh, 7:05. But our 7:10 did withdraw, correct?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
They did, so
7:05, Nick?
so we're actually okay. So, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, it's our pleasure to introduce to you and to the entire community Mr. Nick Riccio, who is our new building commissioner. Mr. Riccio has a very decorated career in public service. He's served as a former building commissioner in town of Mansfield for since 2009. 2000, is it 2009, Nick, or is it yeah, it was,
Actually, it's 2003, I believe.
actually, 1992 to 2003, you were actually a assistant zoning enforcement officer. Now you became the building commissioner, actually, just after that. So he then left Mansfield in 2015 to become the actually state building commissioner for about a week.
About 2 months, actually.
About 2 months. I was going to say like a week.
Please stand.
And then became the town of Rentham building commissioner since 2015 to just before he started here. So he has a very very great background in fact, we're very blessed to have him, I think, and he's a great guy. People will like working with him. He's got a very good, solid background in building services, as well as he's an attorney, which is even a bonus, I think, in that respect. So we appreciate that. So I give to you and I present to you this evening the new building commissioner, Mr. Nick Riccio.
Thank you very much, Bill. Thank you for having me. And thank you, Bill and Mary Beth, for such a great transition for me. It's been very smooth and great to be here, so thank you for having me.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Any questions or how about?
I haven't had the pleasure of dealing with Nick, but I did talk to some other inspectors who happen to know him, and all the reviews I got were very positive, so.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It was good to meet you the other day as
Very
well.
encouraging. So,
Thank you.
You got big shoes to fill.
I know, I'm very sensitive to the fact that I'm following a legend, believe it. And, everything came up to Bill's standards.
Do you smoke a pipe?
No,
I do not.
You better start.
He'll have something that we'll catch him on. That's all right.
Fortunately, Bill's done such a wonderful job here. It's a terrific department, great people here, great staff. Everybody's been wonderful, so glad to be part of this team, and I'll try to live up to Bill's standard for sure. So thank you very
Nick,
much.
I don't want to embarrass you, but I've had the pleasure of working with Nick for a couple of years in the work I do over in Mansfield. Back in the interim town manager age that we went through,
Yeah.
I actually reached out to
Mhm.
Nick. I knew your abilities as a building inspector. I knew your abilities as a little bit as an attorney. But your reputation and the integrity, how you helped Mansfield, I actually asked if you'd consider to be our town manager prior to you.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
not a slight of you.
No, it's an interesting story about how we met too, by
Yeah,
the way. So,
exactly.
Yeah,
it's-
yeah, but I was hoping he'd say yes, at least to get going, but
Yeah.
he said no for very good reasons.
Yeah, absolutely.
More staying away from the politics side of it, but hands down, the integrity and your reputation is stellar as far as my experiences, so
I
I'm very
appreciate
happy.
that very
Good
much, Jim.
find.
I enjoy working with you, and it's worked out very well, the way it worked out, so.
Yeah.
It worked out better, but thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. I've always enjoyed working with you in the past as well, and Well, in the
Nick and I
future.
have a mutual admiration society because we actually, when I was actually chosen as town manager in Mansfield, Nick was the interim.
Yes.
And so that's how I got to know him, and I said, geez, this guy would be a great building commissioner if I could lure him back to, at the time, Dedham, but I was thinking, when I got here, I said, he's gonna come to Foxborough someday, I hope. So it worked out.
Worked out
Great.
great. Worked out, we ended up working
Timing's
together.
everything.
Yeah,
Yes, and I've heard good things from the people in the trades.
Thank you.
Who have
Yeah.
dealt with you in the past and said you're very fair, very thorough.
I appreciate
They
that.
enjoyed working with you, so.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Look forward to working with you all. If I can be of any assistance, please feel free to call me anytime, really mean that, so, thank you.
Thanks, Nick.
Good luck.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you, Doc. Enjoy your night. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Nick.
So again, our 7:10 is withdrawn. 7:16, public hearing, Better Food Foxborough LLC, DBA Tavolino's and Lakeview Pavilion. Doc, can you open the public
Yep.
hearing?
The Board of Selectmen, acting as the local licensing authority pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 138, will conduct a public hearing on Tuesday, January 23rd, 2018, beginning at 7:15 PM in the Gala Meeting Room, 40 South Street, on the acceptance of the provisions of the Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 33B, sales of alcoholic beverages by on-premises licenses on Sundays and certain legal holidays between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. for the following establishments: Lakeview Pavilion and Tavolino's. All interested parties are welcome to attend.
Hi, Tom.
Hello, I'm Tom Peruna from Tavolino, and would like to request the extension to a 10 o'clock license on Sundays and certain legal holidays. I'd like to pursue serving brunch on Sundays and feel we could only do it in a proper way if we had the ability to serve alcoholic beverages to those who would want it. And I've been with Tavolino for 9.5 years. I think have a very good record with the Board of Selectmen, the local police department. And the alcohol will be served in a responsible fashion with people monitoring and supervising the service. So I'd ask that you would grant an extension, or if you have some questions for me.
Open up to the board.
So right now, you don't have a brunch?
We don't. We open at 12 o'clock on Sundays. So to better our business, as we look forward each year to increase sales and how to gain more revenue, this year we would like to extend our hours a couple hours and bring in one more meal plan, being brunch.
Is this the only Tavolino's location?
We have one other Tavolino in Westboro, and we have another sister restaurant called Sienna in Mashpee.
Okay, any of them do brunches? So you have something to...
Well, our Westboro location has been open for 8 years. They did brunch for several years, but they don't currently do it. I think with myself and our executive chef, we would have the knowledge to put the effort into making a plan for staffing, food, beverages, and everything, to put that together.
Good.
No reservations?
You want to make a reservation, you said?
No reservations on the application. Thank you.
Wait, being this is a public hearing, is anybody in the audience have any questions or concerns regarding this? Seeing none. Now, we have a public hearing with two entities, okay?
The other entity.
We'll do the other entity before we close the public hearing.
Sure. Makes sense.
Hi,
Hello.
hi. Patty McCarthy, Service, Manager for Lakeview Pavilion. And Kim Wallace, Controller. We're just looking to extend as well. We typically have had, our 12 o'clock license, we have had extensions before. For the 11 o'clock, we typically have each year, we've had those extensions. So we do hold some occasional showers, brunch weddings on Saturdays, Sundays. And they typically would start at 10 or 11. So in the past, we've just said, well, if you start at 10, alcohol service won't start till 11. So sometimes they push off to 11, other ones still do at 10. They don't all have alcohol service. I mean, typically, very few of them have a full bar or cash bar, but some of them, for the most part, it's mimosas and Bloody Marys. It's very limited bar, usually just kind of from a station. But we were just looking just to be able to offer that to our, customers. would say usually those events are 50 to 80 people, mostly women for baby showers and wedding showers. So that's really all it is just to be able to offer them to come in a little bit earlier and have a drink when they arrive, rather than waiting until their food service style. Well, food service would always be in conjunction with it as well. So that's really what we were looking for.
No.
So, any questions from the audience? Seeing none. Tom happens to be the president of Fox Cares, and Lakeview has been a member since the get-go. I can't think of two better establishments that represent responsible service. So I have no reservations, so I have no further comments either.
We need a motion to close the hearing first.
Move to close public hearing?
Second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all's in favor?
Aye. Move to approve the extended service hours from, to 10 a.m. for both Lakeview Pavilion and Tavolino's.
Second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all's in favor?
Aye.
Good luck.
Good.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate the nice comments as well.
Now you see you all. Take care now. All right, we'll see you.
This next one isn't a public hearing, is it?
It's not.
No.
Okay. Folks from Toby Keith's here? Okay. We'll take the 740. CRG, Foxborough LLC, DBA Toby Keith's, I Love This Bar and Grill, change of manager. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are you, yeah. You feeling better, by the way?
Yes. Hello.
Aye.
First, I'd like to thank you for showing grace to me and my family when we were sick the last time we were supposed to appear.
Sounds like the whole state was sick.
Yeah, it's been a rough one.
Yep.
First, I'd like to address the,
Can you just state your name for the record?
my name is Tawny Costa.
Okay, thank you.
On behalf of CRG Foxborough, I want to extend a formal apology for the erratic behavior displayed by Scott Bowen at the town meeting on December 28th, 2017. The type of behavior displayed by Mr. Bowen at the town meeting is in no way representative of what we stand for as a company at Toby Keith's I Love This Bar and Grill. We hold the town of Foxborough in high esteem and take our relationship with the town very seriously. Mr. Bowen was immediately terminated due to this incident. Please accept our most sincere apology for this unfortunate incident. We look forward to a long and prosperous relationship with you and the community of Foxborough moving forward.
Thank you for that. Mr. Burke?
Yes.
You are the new manager? The paperwork here. Can you just tell us about your experience, please?
I have pretty much lifelong experience in the restaurant field, over 20 years, working in Seekonk, Massachusetts. Started at the old grist mill, 15 plus years in Providence, bars, restaurants, and nightclubs, and 2 years now at Toby Keith's. Unfortunately, this arrived on my plate unexpectedly, but I'm ready to step up and show the board and the town of Foxborough that we're taking the measures to continue to do what we do best and continue to strive for greatness at Toby Keith's and
I hope it's
town.
I hope it's something different than what the former manager thought was what you did best.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I have over 10 years experience managing as well, so this is something that's not new to me, and I look forward to this opportunity as well.
I'll open up to any questions from the board.
So Brian, you were the assistant manager there?
Yes.
Okay, and you'd been there a couple of years?
Be 2 years in March.
And have you had beverage service training in the past? And
As far as training at Toby Keith or in general?
in general?
Yeah, I've had management experience in large corporations, some great companies I worked for in the past, and 10 years plus management experience, restaurant, bar, and nightlife.
Okay.
How many hours a week are you gonna be there as a manager?
It'll be 50 plus on most weeks. Event days, event weeks will probably be an increase.
How many assistant managers does Toby Keith have?
We have 2 assistant managers. As of now, we'd be looking to hire a 3rd manager.
So there'll always be either an assistant or a manager on any given night of the week?
Yes.
That's all
Ginny?
You were the assistant manager under the previous regime?
Correct.
I'll tell you, Mr. Bowen did not make a good impression on the Board of Selectmen or the town of Foxborough. There've been problems up at Toby Case. And lots of times they're reported on the 24J reports. I don't know if you're familiar with those. I know it's just a Massachusetts thing. It's when you're picked up for DUI, they ask, where's the last place you've had a drink? And Toby Keith is lots of times has been mentioned, has been named. You were assistant manager for 2 years there. How can you convince or assuage our concerns that things will be a little better for Toby Keith?
Yeah, so when I did start, there was a whole change of management at that point as well. And that was part of the reason why I was brought in at that time. Those reports were brought to me as well. The number of cases that was public, I believe there was an article, I believe in the Boston Globe, that came out with those reports. And we did take that very serious at that time, and we took the steps to correct those issues. And I don't know the numbers offhand, but I believe in the past 2 years, you would see a dramatic change in those results. So I would continue that and keep enforcing that with the strict alcohol service policies that we have in place today and improving those.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, just a question. Foxborough has a very active group of alcohol license holders called Fox Cares that does a lot of work in trying to prevent 24J incidences, as well as provide appropriate measures of training for all the license holders to try and set the right example so that everybody sort of looks out for each other. And that's important because ultimately the town is the license overseer for the entire community. That group was started probably about 3 years ago, Dave. It's been very successful. And I don't know how active your establishment has been in that, but I would strongly encourage you to become part of that group because you'll learn that being part of the group is much more, it's actually very helpful to how you're going to manage your establishment going forward. And it offers you that opportunity to ask questions and to get training that you may not see in other ways. So I think it's actually a good group, and you're not required to do it, but it's something that you certainly are encouraged to do because it's actually a good step forward.
Thank you. We'll definitely move forward with that and reach out to them. Fox Cares, you're
Fox
called?
Cares, that's
Absolutely.
So fortunately, I asked Tom Petruna to stick around. He's the president of Fox Cares.
Great.
And we had, they have a meeting on January 31st at 2:30. Hope to see you there.
Yeah,
And-
all intentions to attend the meetings and
Tom can give you the details afterwards, but, you know, the fact that they share best practices, share some of the issues that each individual establishment's going through, it's just another resource to help if you're having some issues. And I'll tell you, just about all the members up at Patriot Place, all the establishments up there, including the stadium, participate, and I think, you know, knock on wood.
It's really helped.
It's come a long way in the last 3 years, I think, for responsible service. So we can't force you to do it, but we strongly encourage it.
absolutely.
So
Just have one more question. We've just talked about the alcohol service, you know, at Toby Keith. Are you also, as a manager, are you also responsible for making timely payments to the town of Foxborough in, you know, fees and He
That
was-
would not be,
No, that was not him. I can.
me personally, no.
So there was we had a regional manager in place for approximately 7 years. He was recently terminated for reasons about like the payments, and there was, recently we found out there was some theft, and we have the Foxborough Police involved with that. Moving forward, I will be doing all that, so it will be done in a timely manner. There was a few things that were loopholes, like incorrect address, so we weren't receiving the bill, but moving forward, I personally will be responsible for it, so I can assure you all that everything will be made in a timely manner. So I do apologize for that.
Okay, thank you.
It's helpful, thank you.
One more quick question. And what is your position, Tawny? I see you've signed as manager, but are you like the general manager or?
No, I'm the manager of the entity that owns Toby Keith.
Okay.
Well, I just have one more
Yeah, go ahead.
question. I noticed on the application fee that Mr. Burke paid the fee with his personal check to ABCC in Foxborough. Is that the usual, that the person applying pays and not the
Doesn't-
entity?
I'm not sure about that. I don't know that answer.
I mean, I never noticed that a personal check was used
We just
before. That was-
reimbursed him,
Yeah.
so he just did it
Yeah.
because it was.
Yeah, I just
it
wanted
was
to get the
com-
paperwork.
May have been
in.
just easier.
Well, okay, all right,
With the
no.
transition going
Okay.
on there. Tawny's actually located in Arizona.
I'm in Arizona.
So she's actually getting on top of all the issues right now and has been very good to work with. I can personally attest to that, so.
Yeah, okay,
So
thank you.
we should be fine.
Any further questions? No? Can I have a motion?
Move to approve Mr. Burke as the new manager of Toby Keith's I Love This Bar and Grill.
Second.
Motion made, second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Look forward to working with you.
Best of luck to you.
Tom, get him.
Had they never been?
Early on, they were.
I know that- Mr. Chairman, I know that Brian's here, so just want to say thanks for all your efforts in this as well, and appreciate you putting me in touch with Tawny on this situation, and glad it all worked out the way it did. And so I want to say, no, I appreciate that. So, and congratulations to the entire organization on a great win this past weekend, so.
Thanks, Brian.
Great,
Bye-bye.
thank you.
Seem to be walking better.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, I had a schedule.
Nice.
Good to be back.
Oh, that's right, you were sick.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Selectmen's update. I had the pleasure of watching last week's, last meeting. And I just have a couple of comments.
Be an armchair quarterback.
Yeah, it's, regarding the meeting policy, I read through it and I reached out to Bill. I think in an effort to try and get an overreaching policy, we made it way too complicated and way too overbearing. So I think we need to